Going to just get in the bed. Call it a night. Oh, hey. What's this about? Oh, this is Wilbur, my birth teddy. Why do I have him? Well, I mean, I guess I thought it'd be appropriate for this video. You know, just talking about that new horror movie that came out, Imaginary. Yeah, so I thought it'd be appropriate to get the bear out. Why'd I come back from the movie tired? Oh, no reason, just that the movie was, boring. Hi, welcome to the Oiko channel, where I talk about, movies. Blumhouse Productions is a pretty good production studio. I've got a list here of films that Blumhouse has produced that you probably recognize. You know, we've got Split, The Purge, Paranormal Activity, Sinister, The Black Phone, Get Out, and most recently, Imaginary. Now, Imaginary is a movie that I didn't really see anything about it when trailers were dropping. I haven't actually watched a single trailer yet. I haven't watched anything about it, but I've watched the movie now. When I started the movie, I was wondering, you know, who's the director behind this movie? And then the name popped up, Jeff Wadlow. And I was like, oh, that name sounds like weirdly familiar. And if you click on his profile and then you go to movies, his last movie was Truth or Dare. At that point, I knew this movie wasn't going to be good. Imaginary follows our main character, Jessica, and, you know, she's a stepmother to these two kids and wife to, you know, obviously father of these two kids. They move into her old house to try to get them away from their, you know, old abusive and unwell mother. And then one of the kids, I forgot her name, Allie, yeah. Because I keep calling her Alley Cat. L-E-A. Alice gets an imaginary friend who's starting to act a bit violent. Ooh, spooky. And then it's a story just kind of following that and figuring out how to defeat this little evil spirit thingy. Overall, the premise for this movie is fun. I feel like it's definitely been done before. I don't know. I know it's being done this year, just not in a horror movie premise. The movie's called If, which it's kind of funny how this movie, I believe, dropped a couple weeks before If, which is a family movie about imaginary friends, and we got a horror movie about imaginary friends just a couple weeks before. Very funny timing. This movie really confused me because Blumhouse Productions isn't like a small studio. They're quite a big studio, and I think it's insane their like track record, because what is going on? Their track record is insane because it's just like Jason Blum, what's his name? Blumhouse, the Blumhouse, Mr. Blumhouse. Why are you putting money into projects like this? I mean, let's look over their most recent movies. Their most recent movies consist of, you know, we got Megan, which was a movie. I did watch it. It was okay. The FNAF movie, which in my opinion, I thought was shit. I did not like it. I was not happy with it at all. But I mean, the fans liked it, so I guess that was cool. I mean, I'm a fan, but it wasn't. It felt so childish to me. Anyway, Night Swim, a movie I have watched and will make a video on. So I don't exactly want to say how I feel about that movie, but just know that it's bad. And then Imaginary, which is just, it's so meh. And I want to get my first complaint out of the way. It's a horror movie, right? It does not feel like one at all. The movie spends like a good, like nothing actually happens until the last like 30 minutes. You spend like an hour and 10 minutes of the, how long is it, like a 100-minute runtime? You spend 70 minutes and it's just kind of build up to finally like the final act. But that whole build up is so boring. Barely anything happens in it. It's not really all that eerie. It relies so heavily on shots where it's like someone will like they're looking around and they'll bend over and grab something, and then oh, there's a spooky JPEG behind them, and they get up and they're like, wait, huh? Whoa. And there's nothing behind them. Super heavily on that. Like, it just does it all the time to the point where it's just boring. There's one jump scare in the first 70 minutes and it feels so... I don't know how to feel about it. This movie just isn't scary at all. There's no real scares. The final like bear's design, by the way, if you don't want spoilers, click off the video now. This video is gonna have spoilers on it, so if you don't want spoilers, click off. But this movie's not worth watching, so honestly, just stay. Just stay, honestly. But I'm gonna put the bear. This is what the bear looks like up here, right over here. It is so over designed. It reminds me of how the FNAF 4 animatronics were designed, the nightmare ones. They're so over designed that it's laughably funny. Especially like the scene. There's a scene where the girl, what's the other girl's name? Let me pull up the cast. But just so you know, I just watched this movie and I'm already forgetting the characters' names. Taylor. Taylor's in the room when the lights are spinning and the bear like appears, right? And it just stands there and it doesn't do anything. And it just looks so stupid. There's barely any real threat in the movie, it feels like. Like, you see the bear kill one person. You see it do real damage once. Overall, the movie felt like... It felt like a family adventure movie, sort of. In the sense that it had all of those themes. And another thing that helped make it feel like that was my third complaint. Thank God I put up 3 fingers instead of like 2. This movie, it feels like when they were writing it, they forgot that the people watching can think. There's one specific scene where they're trying to open the door to this imaginary place. And the lady, Jessica, she stabs herself in the hand because it requires pain to get in. But it's not enough. And so then she turns to Taylor and she's like, oh, you know, Alice only ran away because you weren't looking after her, you know? And you just like to push the blame on everyone else, and I have to figure out all your problems, you know? And you're just like your mother. And then the fire ignites and the door opens. It's pretty self-explanatory there, like if you're watching it and thinking, which is hard to do because of how kind of boring this movie is. But it's self-explanatory, like her saying that alone hurt her enough to be real pain, rather than, you know, just stabbing herself in the hand. It's pain that had real emotion behind it. And this fucking old fuck in the background who was just there to explain everything, she goes, you needed a real pain to get in, and that's why she said it to you. If you don't shut up, I'm gonna boot you down the stairs. Yeah, but it makes it feel even more like it's a movie made for kids, because they explain everything. Like, actually everything. You can't leave that movie with like a single thought. Yeah, the movie leaves you with nothing to think about once you leave the theater. There's nothing to talk about when you go home. There's nothing. It's just very boring. Other than that, the movie generally just is boring. It doesn't really do anything new. It doesn't really do anything interesting. It's a slow burn. It's boring. It doesn't leave you to think about anything. Everything gets explained to you when it really doesn't need to be. I mean, yeah, I think just overall, it's a very poor movie. And so far, going into 2024, Blumhouse does not have a good track record. Because so far, the movies that have come out this year, Night Swim and Imaginary. Like, Imaginary was better than Night Swim, I'll give it that. But I mean, really? You're coming into 2024 with that? Fuck. I don't really know what else to say, except for just the movie wasn't good. It's not worth watching. If you want to see someone who is actually good at talking about movies, check out Mr. Gigi's video on imaginary. I watched it before I went into the movie just to know if I am going into something good or bad. But I think the movie has like, I've got a review up on this screen on my computer right now. The average rating is 3.1, which is about right. Like, it's not a bad movie. It's mid. It's very mid. I think that's all I've really got to say. I mean, if you enjoyed, like the video, subscribe. Comment a movie that you want me to watch. I'm kind of in my movie watching mood. You know, I've been watching a lot of movies, but I think that's it. So I'm gonna go to bed. I guess I'll catch you guys. I mean, whenever you guys catch me, I guess. That's all right. And